Hello everyone, I'm the Pape and welcome to my Should I on Hack and Slash. Hack and Slash is a game by Double Fine Productions, which you guys might know from Costume Quest or Psychonauts or maybe even Brutal Legend. And most recently they put out Space-Based DF9, but that one is a completely different topic. Both Hack and Slash and Space-Based DF9 have been on Steam Early Access for quite a while, Hack and Slash just being released, and let's see if it's worth the time spent on. So right from the beginning you will see that the game is very different indeed, as it doesn't actually have a settings or options menu. You do have settings which you can't change inside of the game, but apart from some volume stuff you can't change too much about it. And you can go into windowed mode, which isn't that much of a important fact. You can't change the resolution or anything, but since it's a very hand-drawn game, there should be no need for too much stuff out there. What you do have though is a manage mods option, where you can create new mods or integrate your own or other people's mods. Now, currently there aren't too many available online via the Steam Workshop, which is why I won't be showing this feature off in this video. Maybe I will do another video, but I personally am not good enough to do a mod by myself. And I can't really work with translation fixes, as I don't know how well they are integrated. And I won't actually realize or recognize that. I'm sorry for my ignorance. So I'll just start off a new game, no mods, and yes, I will be Alice. It's dangerous to hack and slash, be brave. Now the game has a... well, it tries to be funny, and I say try because in my personal opinion, and I have to emphasize that, it is a very personal opinion, I don't enjoy the humor. I find it a bit dry and just a bit forced. So what exactly is Hack and Slash? As you can see, it looks like an action-adventure game, but it is in fact a puzzle game. You have the ability to hack your environment. As you see, my sword is now a USB drive, and with this I can hack the gate right in front of me, which I will do right now. And what you have a menu, so every item has its own menu. Every item that has a USB port can be hacked, and the menu corresponds to that special item or the item class. So this rock, for example, or block to be exact, has a different menu than the other one. So with this one I can change the pushes and everything else. Now I skipped the conversation and the dialogue because I don't really much enjoy it, and yeah, I'm gonna call you Cooper, I think. Yeah, Cooper. I like that. I don't like Bob. Sorry. If your name is Bob, I'm not so sorry. And that's the main premise of the game. Not changing names, of course, but hacking your environment. Now if it looks a bit laggy, that's not the game's fault, that's mostly on my side. I've been having some computer problems recently. So is there something special about the hacking ability? Well, like I said before, every object, every item class has its own attributes and variables. So if I were to hack a bush, you would see a difference to the rocks, which don't, since they don't have the same attributes, or the raven, for example. Now you have hearts inside of the game, but I personally don't really understand this mechanic, as you are able to exploit a character inside of the game, which you find very early on, and she can give you almost, and from what I've seen it is possible, she can give you infinite hearts, and by that I mean heart containers. I don't really see why they would put that in there. I guess it's just for the sake of showing, okay, if you want to exploit something, that's easily possible. This is actually one of the item, the artifact. You will find several artifacts inside of the game, and this is the artifact that enables me to exploit that. So why they put hearts in at all, I don't quite understand. Maybe to give it an artificial feel of difficulty. Now this is one of the major gripes I have about the game, and this is an actual gripe. So as you see, I have 12 items on this menu list, and I can't type stuff in. So you can see that I have to change from one item to the other, and I guess that's because the game was originally designed for a controller. So I can instantly switch to a controller, and with a controller in mind, the menus make much more sense, as I can't I have to use my movement buttons or the analog stick to change every attribute by itself. I can't use the mouse either with the joypad or controller in hand or with the keyboard. Now it doesn't sound too horrible, but if you think about the fact that you have to constantly get into menus and you can't simply input numbers. So if I wanted to change the distance to maybe 200, I would have to scroll down, as I'm doing right now. So why I just couldn't type in the values that I want to use, I really don't understand. It's a bit tedious, and it gets more tedious since you every time that you have to do it, because you have to repeat yourself so often that it's just annoying. And like I said, it's one of my personal major gripes, and I think it's a very important part of the game, considering that it's all about efficiency and effectiveness. So doing the same things over and over again inside of a badly designed menu, it gets a bit annoying. Now all of this wouldn't be too bad if it weren't for the fact that whenever you leave a screen and go to the next screen, all of the changes you did to an item, to an object, will be reset. So everything I'm doing right now will be reset in a couple of seconds as soon as I enter, or to be exact, if I leave the screen. That's actually when the game saves. So the game saves whenever I leave or enter a new screen. And the game never told me that it does so. So if you get into a more complicated puzzle, it resets the screen, as you will see right as I'm showing off right now. I really don't know what to say to that. Now this would make sense in a game where the puzzles, you have to reset them because you made a mistake, and yeah, you have to get everything to the default setting. However, you are manually able to do so. You have the amulet, which you can see in the lower right corner. It actually gives me the ability to time travel, which automatically resets everything I did earlier. So why do it automatically and not simply give me the ability to do it, or not just accept that I have the ability to do it by myself? I don't quite understand, because you have to revisit some parts inside of the game repeatedly, and having to redo the same minor stuff, and I mean by that pushing rocks and everything, it's just tedious. And the enemies respawn as well, which isn't too bad because most of the time you can just ignore them. And like I said before, since you have the ability to give yourself so many hearts right from the beginning, which I will be doing right now, I just really don't understand what the idea behind all of that is. So the screen sprite gives me 10 heart containers, and whenever I set the artifact, the orb, which I have placed on 1, whenever I set that on false, she will give me 10 more heart containers. Now, like I said before, I guess they put in these kinds of exploitables into the game because just to showcase the craziness or the wackiness that can ensue with that. For example, later on I get an item with which I can change the day and night cycle, and another item with which I can change the amount of hearts I get every time a day and night cycle passes by. So I have the ability to throw it up to 1000%, the night cycle, I mean, day and night cycle. So every 4 or 5 seconds I get 10 hearts instantly. Now this is fun and all, and I guess it's more of a hey, let's do this because we can, than an hey, let's not do this because it's gonna break the game. Because yeah, the game is supposed to be hackable, and I think that's a nice inclusion into the game. I applaud it, but I think it's only there just to showcase what you're able to do, not because it makes any sense inside of the game. Now I have played the game for several hours. Maybe I haven't finished it yet, of course. So this is a first impressions video, so maybe I missed out on something. Now this is what I mentioned earlier. I can type in values, and with a controller in hand I have to type in the letters via old school high score kind of way, so pushing up and down instead of giving me an artificial keyboard. So what the idea behind that is, I really don't understand. So yeah, you see I can type in whatever I want and just yeah, it works instantly. So I don't know why they weren't able to implement that with the other menus. So yeah, I have to type in a password. I actually know it by memory, but they give me a hint inside of the game. And yeah, that's, like I said, that's one of the main mechanics of the game. I'll show you one of the other or more bigger ones that you get later, but I'll try not to spoil too much, because that's like I wrote in the intro to the video, that's one of the most important parts of the game, the ability to surprise the player. Now I know I have been nagging a lot. This is one of the parts that I really get annoyed about, the fact that it resets everything, because I dislike the sound. I honestly do not enjoy the singing of my red sprite. But yeah, I know I've been nagging a lot about the game, and that makes me really sad, because I actually enjoy it. Now I don't enjoy the art style. To me it feels a bit generic, and the audio, the music, the sounds feel, yeah, they don't feel too special. But the gameplay itself is very interesting. The ability to just, in this case, spawn hundreds of turtles, and I've actually done that. It crashed my game spectacularly, but the ability to spawn so many turtles all at a time, it's fun. Like, the game gives you the ability to exploit it. It gives you the ability to just mess with it and just have fun. So that I really enjoy about the game. The spawn behavior, or just producing a bridge made out of turtles, that's really clever, that's really fun, and it's very creative. I really enjoy that part of the game. But on the other hand, the way to do it is just so complicated and unnecessarily convoluted, or not even convoluted, it's just complicated that it annoys me. Now I'll show you a bit a part with a layer puzzle that I enjoyed. Let's see. Okay, no, that wasn't it. That is the wrong puzzle. But yeah, I'll show this off to you just as well, because it showcases a bit of what you can do later on. So yeah, I'm able to run faster. I hacked that about myself. All of that, of course, inside of the game. And yeah, you are able, later on you get the ability to get into algorithms themselves and manipulate them. And that is quite cool, but this also gives you the ability to crash the game. Now, crashing the game in a regular way isn't too horrible, because the game will show you the timeline, which you just saw, and then you'll have the ability to just keep on playing. Now, of course, the game crashes in a regular way, so yeah, I had to restart the game several times, and this is actually my fifth time of recording this, because of several crashes which I had earlier, including audio problems and recording problems. That might be because of my own setup, but some of it is clearly because of the way the game is designed. The problem is whenever you crash and you accidentally crash an algorithm, you your progress, Jesus Christ, took me a second. Your progress throughout a screen is deleted. And this may not sound too bad, so you may not really find it too annoying, but it gets really, really annoying as soon as you have several algorithms in one room, in one screen, and you just manage to clear 2 puzzles out of 3, and the third one you screwed up because you didn't completely understand the algorithm, and the game crashes. Now, of course, game crashes inside of a programming game are gonna be, it's natural. I mean, it's a natural part of programming that whatever you do, it's not gonna work out the way you want it to, so you have to try and try and try again. But I think they could have implemented a way of security testing. So before loading the algorithm the way you've left it, it should be able to tell you, okay, this is gonna screw up. Do you really want to do this? And it gets, so that there should be some safety measures for that. But because it gets quite annoying, because the algorithms, or the way the algorithms work inside of the game, is never fully explained. They touch the surface on the matter, but unless you have some programming experience, you won't know what exactly you're doing, because it's not well explained. So I took about an hour, I think, for this room, maybe less, but maybe at the very least 45 minutes, because at some parts I didn't know what to do. And I think it's good that you're not constantly given hints, but on the other hand, you're not everything is explained properly, so they just assume that you're gonna figure out something. But what happens is that you mess around with the algorithms, and the game crashes on you. So whatever you did before that is lost. So you have to redo that and redo that. And maybe that is a very real way of showcasing programming and showing how programming is done for beginners, but it's a very annoying way. And like I said, they could have implemented a failsafe where it just saves your state before executing the algorithm the way you manipulated it. Because you only see the changes that you did when you leave the algorithm. So before that, you don't know if what you did will have any effect, or a good effect or a bad effect, at all. So you have to leave the algorithm, you have to push a button or whatever you have to do to progress, and then you will know, okay, whatever I did, it didn't do anything, or it crashed the game. As soon as you leave the algorithm, you'll know about that. So yeah, it's tedious. It's really tedious, and I find it sad that it's so tedious because I really want to enjoy the game. Well, enough nagging from me. The game, Hack and Slash, ladies and gentlemen, by Double Fine Productions. It's out on Steam right now, and it's €19.99 or your regional equivalent. God, I wish I could enjoy this game so much more than I can right now. Well, you guys go out, have some fun, and go play some video games, and I'll try to figure out how to progress in this game. See you guys soon.